Hi everyone, John Cottrell here, and this is Power Hour. This is a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice. Welcome everyone. And in this class, we are going to be doing a class that I've called Camels and Bridges. Yes, Camels and Bridges, which is actually a backbend practice. Those are two backbends that we're going to be doing in this class today. So here's what you might need for your class today. So I'm going to recommend maybe a couple of blocks, yoga blocks, or just something stackable. And when we do bridge pose, you're able to, or you're welcome to use something stackable. It could be a couple of hardbound books, okay? So I don't have one here, but you may want to have a towel or a blanket that you can kneel on, okay? Some of our postures will involve some kneeling, and so if you just need some extra padding underneath you, that'd be great. I'm on carpet and I've got a thick mat, so I won't be needing a blanket, but if you happen to be practicing maybe on a hardwood floor with a thinner mat, then you may want some extra cushion, and that could just be a towel or even a blanket. Alrighty, that's it. So let's go ahead and start. So I invite you to stand near the top of your mat in mountain pose. So your feet are about hip distance apart and your toes are pointing forward. That's just to establish some nice alignment, balance, and centering in our bodies. Go ahead and take a few deep breaths. And as you're doing so, you might circle your shoulders, maybe a nice deep breath in, and lift your shoulders as you inhale. Then exhale to release. Again, inhale, lift. Breathe in deeply, then exhale, release completely, relax the shoulders. Maybe a couple more shoulder circles here. Some of our back bends not only will work our backs, but they work our shoulders because we're going to be drawing our arms back behind us in back bends, okay? So let's start loosening them up a little bit. And then you just make your way to stillness. Continue with slow, deep breathing. Now you may want to breathe in a way where you can feel your breath. So for example, as you inhale, you want to feel the lifting and lengthening of your spine, feeling tall in your body, and of course, feeling breath rising to fill up your lungs. Then as you exhale, you want to draw your navel or belly button in towards your spine to engage your center body. So again, a nice inhale to fill up your lungs. Slow, controlled exhale, draw navel in. This is the abdominal lock, so there is a light contraction of the abdominal muscles here. So a nice strong body. Part of our back bending is also going to do some conditioning and stretching along the abdominal system. And while we're still standing in stillness and breathing in and out, you can do this with eyes opened. If they're opened, maybe you're taking a soft gaze forward or downward at the ground. Or you might close your eyes and take a journey inward. This is a great opportunity to set your intention for your practice. Since we're doing backbends in yoga are heart openers. So maybe you want to open your heart to something. And that might be to receive something that you're needing or desiring. Or maybe you want to open your heart to give. And what do you just wonder and understand what you have to offer. Let's take 3 more breaths in and out, preparing our bodies to move. Good, and when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead, reaching all the way up. And exhale, we'll fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way down towards your toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees to extend your spine, long, flat back. Exhale, we'll fold, making your way back down. Let's hold here in a forward fold. This is nice because since we're going to be doing back bends, this is really just the counter pose to the back bends. But we also like to think that a back bend is a counter pose to a forward fold, since we do a lot of folding in our everyday lives. So doing back bends is going to be a nice counter position for the body. Let's inhale and just slide the hands up the legs to extend your spine. Only rise up halfway once again. And exhale, fold again, back down towards toes. And a nice complete release. Hang heavily forward if that feels okay. Nice rounded curvature sensation in the back and spine. Let's get ready to stand. Go ahead and shift your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're sitting down into a low chair. Look forward. Then inhale. Reverse your swan dive, coming all the way up to standing, reaching into the air. Then exhale, bring your arms down by your side. Right there. Good. Hold here. And feel free to circle your shoulders again, just to keep things nice and loose and as they're warming up. Let's do that same sequence one more time. That's our half salute to the sun, our forward fold, and then coming back up. Together, inhale, reaching into the air. Nice stretch, lengthening through the sides of your body. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward, hinging at the hips, soft knees, maybe touching your toes. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs to extend your spine, only rising up halfway. Exhale, release, back down, forward fold. Weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, grow very tall, reaching into the air. Long, straight arms with good effort. Exhale, bring your arms back down by your side. Go ahead and return to stillness here. Some deep breaths. If you'd like, some more circles in your shoulders. You can roll them backward, even roll them forward a few times. Then we're going to continue with our full sun salutation, beginning with Series A. Whenever you're ready to move, go ahead and inhale and extend your arms all the way up. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward with soft knees, guiding your way down. Take your time with this if you need to. Inhale, rise up halfway, allowing the top of your head to lead you forward. Exhale, bend your knees enough. Let your back round get low so you can bring your hands to the mat. And then walk or step both of your feet back into plank pose, a high push-up position, just a nice long straight line from head to heel. Push firmly into the ground with the hands, strong arms. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air, moving into downward facing dog. Feel free to make any adjustments with your feet, even your hands on your mat. Just help steady yourself and to arrive in the pose. I like to keep a little bend in the knees here. And of course, the heels might be lifted off the floor, and that's perfect for this posture. That may allow you to actually send your hips up a little higher. Meanwhile, your hands are pushing firmly down into the ground, and this will lengthen your spine a bit more. Let's take a breath in. And exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of the mat to forward fold. Inhale to extend your spine, just lifting halfway. Exhale, refold, back down. Weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, come to standing, reaching into the air, big stretch. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very nice. Okay, we're just going to continue that flow, just adding on. That was Series A. We're just going to add on and make it Series B. Here we go. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Good energy through your fingertips. Exhale, fold forward. Nice swan dive down. Inhale, rising halfway, or just a good extension of spine leading through the crown of your head. Exhale, bend your knees, rounded back, hands to the ground, walk or step both feet back to the back end of your mat, plank pose. Let's breathe in. This exhale, as you're able, bend your elbows to lower your body down into a straight line, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, pull forward and push down into the ground with your hands to straighten your arms, lifting just the torso, and you'll create your first back bend, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck your toes under, lifting your knees, then hips up into the air, downward facing dog. Just pause for a moment to arrive in the pose, and then we'll continue. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reaching long, big stretch. Exhale, let's step through. So right foot to the top of the mat, left heel turns to the floor. Root that heel or whole foot into the ground. Long spine out over the right thigh. Then inhale, rising up, reaching into the air, warrior one. Exhale, hinge and fold, making your way back down to the ground. Plant the hands into the ground. And then slide the right foot back to plank pose. Bend your elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs for good leverage as you lower your way down. You can even do a low cobra, coming all the way down to the ground, long legs, pointed toes. Keep the elbows bent, but roll the shoulders back and barely lift the chest off the ground. So something like this for Cobra. And when you exhale, just push back to hands and knees, tuck toes, lift knees, then hips into the air, downward facing dog. And it's inhale now to extend left leg up into the air. And an exhale to step left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor behind you. Be sure to shift your weight back so there's more weight and pressure in that back foot. Then extend your torso long out over your left thigh. Inhale to rise up, reaching up into the sky. Warrior one. We're going to exhale, hinge and fold. Plant the hands. Slide the left foot back to meet the other, then finish your sequence. Chaturanga Dandasana. And inhale to upward facing dog or cobra or back bend. That feels good right here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's pause for a moment. Make that adjustment in your feet and hands. Arriving in the pose. See if you can find a little bit more length in your spine by lifting the hips a little higher. Hands pressing firmly into the ground. All right, we're going to come to the ground, so gently set the knees down. Sit back briefly to hero pose. This is hero. And then slide off the feet to sit on the ground or on your mat and swing the legs around to the front here. Scoot so you're sitting in the center of your mat and go ahead and roll down onto your back. And maybe have your books or blocks nearby so you can easily grab them, because we're going to do a couple of variations. The first thing we're going to do is just lie flat with knees bent and feet flat on the ground. And just feel this connection you're making with the ground. This can be a very relaxed position. You don't have to engage too much at all. And just reconnect to your breath. We're going to prepare ourselves for a supported bridge pose, which means we're going to be lifting our hips eventually, bringing in those blocks, and sit on those blocks. Here we go. Let's inhale to fill up the lungs. Exhale to engage the belly, just to provide energy in the body so you can lift your hips up off the floor high enough so you can get your blocks or books, slide them underneath you, and just sit. Okay? This is a very relaxed version of this posture. And you don't have to support yourself too much because you're just sitting. So just lie here for a moment. And really a nice option for bridge pose at any time, okay? Even when we're doing kind of a regular bridge pose, which we'll do in a moment, you can always use blocks like this as a way to stabilize the posture and to modify it to suit your needs. Okay, so first, as we're in this relaxed state of bridge, we're just feeling the front body open in a very neutral, natural, and easy way. We are going to bring some more energy to this in a moment. Maybe a couple more breaths. All right, now you're welcome to stay here in the supported bridge so you can stay seated on the blocks, okay? Or you can take a nice exhale, press feet into the ground, and lift the hips away from the blocks, even move the blocks out of the way, and just stay lifted. Now here's some ways you can stay lifted. One, you can use your hands and literally just lift yourself up. Just use your hands, lift and hold yourself up. Or bend the elbows at 90 degrees so your fingers are reaching for the ceiling, like this. And you just press the backs of your arms, your triceps and your elbows down into the floor to help lift the body and stabilize the lifted body. More energy is moving throughout your body. You might feel this more in your thighs, hamstrings, even your glutes. Hips are lifting. Your hip flexors are getting a nice opening. And of course a nice opening through the whole front torso area, belly and chest. This is your heart opener. 2 more breaths. If you're on your blocks, you want to lift your hips and move the blocks out of the way. If you're in a regular bridge, just wiggle your toes forward a little bit, extend your arms up into the air, and then roll your way all the way down to the ground. Okay, let's all extend our bodies by extending the legs out front. Reach the arms behind you. Reach and stretch. A nice lengthening. Always good to lengthen the spine, especially when we're doing a back bend practice, just to help neutralize and lengthen the back body. Okay, let's go ahead and bring the knees in towards chest. This is a forward fold feeling. And then gently rock forward and back with a good exhale. Rock your way up to seated. So we can come to boat pose, so some core work. So you might want to lean back enough so the feet are light and they can lift into the air. Go ahead and flex your feet or point your toes. Bringing energy to the feet will energize the legs, another way of stabilizing the legs. You can even hold on to the legs here for the duration as a way to help lift yourself up and to hold yourself in place. You can always free up the hands if you want. As you inhale, you want to feel very long and tall and lifted through the spine and upper body. As you exhale, draw belly in, nice engagement in your core. Okay, your belly, abdominals. Couple more breaths here. Let's generate some good strength here. All right, we're going to breathe in, getting ready to move. Exhale, crossing legs, rolling forward, out onto the hands. Step back into plank pose, hold. Bend the knees a little, send your hips into the air, moving into downward facing dog. Let's continue with the lunge sequence. You're going to inhale, extend your right leg up into the air. Let's open this up. Bend the knee, bring your heel down towards your backside. Even flex the foot, lifting the knee a bit up towards the ceiling. This will provide a nice hip opener. Inhale. And exhale to unwind it and step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor, shifting weight back into that foot. Elongate through your spine. And then inhale, rise up, reaching into the air, Warrior One. And then exhale to open up to Warrior Two right here. Let's hold here for a moment. I like to take my feet out a little wider, lunging a little deeper, just to get that nice leg stretch, a nice release in the right inner thigh in this case. Long, tall torso, straight up and down. Arms straight out to their sides, parallel to the floor. Side angle, let's reach out over the right leg. Angled upper body, rotate the arms. Right hand will come down, even just to mid-thigh, or right here. You don't have to touch the floor unless you want to go down lower to touch the ground, or your blocks, that's fine. Meanwhile, the left hand's reaching straight up, but then send it overhead a little bit, like this. See if that creates a bit of a lengthening through the side of the body. Remember, we want to create good length. Since we're doing back bends, we want a lot of space. Breathe in. Exhale, we're going to carefully turn. Bring the hands down to the ground. Step back, plank pose, hold. Take another shortcut to downward facing dog. Softness in the knees. Lift the hips. Adjust the feet and hands. Other side. Inhale to extend left leg up into the air. Straight line to begin. Bend the knee. Heel coming down towards backside. Flex the foot. Lifting the knee a little bit towards the ceiling to create a hip opener. Hold for a few seconds. Breathe in. And exhale to unwind. Step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor. Good shift of weight. Back there. Elongate your torso out over left thigh. Then inhale, rising up, Warrior One. Reach high into the sky. Exhale, opening to the right side of the room. Arms down to parallel, Warrior Two. Make your adjustments to settle in. Arrive in your pose. Nice energetic reach through the arms. Nice lunge in front. Check in with alignment, left knee and toes pointing directly forward. Let's take our side angle pose, reaching out over the left thigh. Angled upper body, rotate the arms. Left hand down, right hand up. And then you can start sending the right hand overhead just to create a little bit more length, nice extension through the right side of the body. And that's really the name of this pose, extended side angle pose. We really want to create that extending quality. Let's breathe in. Our exhale will help us to turn. Face forward, lower yourself down, plant the hands onto the ground, slide left foot back, plank pose. Stay here. Let's add something new. I'm going to bring both knees to the floor. Sit back. I'm going to do what I call half hero. First, just tuck your toes under. Step your hands toward your knees, just to a place where you can actually just kind of lift the hands off the floor. Okay? So I call this half hero. So it doesn't put too much pressure on the knees or ankles, okay? But what we really want to do here is just get ourselves situated since we're going to be kneeling for a little bit. So if you have a blanket or towel, you may want to bring that in right in front of the knees and then get take the knees up on top of your blanket. You can even just fold your mat underneath you to create some padding. And then come back out to hands and knees, like so. Follow me here. Just tap your right foot, just tap it, and you're going to swing the right foot off to the right side. We're just angling that leg, the lower portion of the leg. Start leaning into the right side, right hand and right knee. So you can extend the left leg back like this, lifting the knee off your blanket, but stay on your toes. Continue opening your whole body towards the left side of the room while your left hand goes into the air. This is our side plank pose with a variation. And that variation is the knee is on the ground, maybe padded. Flex this left foot, flex it, and you'll just be on the edge of the foot. And then follow this left arm overhead, like so, just like we did in that side angle pose. So reach through the left hand, reaching through the left foot to really extend, really create that quality. Nice. Let's breathe in. Exhale. Let's carefully bring left hand to the floor, bring left knee back down to the ground, and bring that right foot back in, that kickstand I'll call it. Let's go back to half hero, tuck toes, sit back, lift hands, so you can just rest the hands. That's a lot of pressure on the hands. I like to give you a little bit of a quick break, okay, and just circle the wrists here a little bit, okay? You can do that anytime, because that's a lot of pressure on a forced flex like that in the hands. When you're ready, just join me back here on your tabletop. Let's do the other side. So we're tapping the left foot, swing the left foot off to the left side, making your kickstand. Lean over to the left, so you can extend your right leg back, keep toes on the ground. Open the whole body towards the right side of the room, bringing the right hand up into the air like so. Side plank variation. Flex the right foot so it's strong and steady. And then start reaching right hand overhead, extending, reaching through the fingertips. Reaching through the fingertips to the front of the room, while your flexed right foot is reaching to the back of the room. Feel that extending quality through the right side. A couple more breaths. Really reach. Take a breath in. We'll exhale to carefully unwind. Bring right hand to the floor. Right knee back down to the ground. Bring your kickstand back in. Now, you may want to crawl off of your blanket or towel if you happen to be using one. Slide it off to the side. Come back to hands and knees. And let's get ready for downward facing dog again. Let's step the hands forward so your hands are out from underneath the shoulders. Spread out your fingers. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees and hips into the air, downward facing dog. Okay, let's go. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist open. As you lift the knee, just feel like you're starting to turn a little bit towards the right side of the room. Just a little bit, not too far. Hands still pushing firmly into the ground. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind it, step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor. Extended spine. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, opening warrior two. We're really flowing here. Side angle, reach out. Rotate the arms. Right hand down, left hand up and overhead. Reach and stretch through left side body. Breathe in. Exhale, turn. Let's bring hands down to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Finish the push-up if you like. Coming down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale to extend left leg up into the air. Bend the knee, lifting the knee. Starting to turn a little bit towards the left side of the room. You're just rotating a little bit more. Breathe in. Exhale to unwind it, step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants into the floor, nicely extended spine. Inhale to rise up when you're ready, reaching into the air. Exhale, opening warrior two. Keep going with your flow. Side angle, reaching out. Rotate the arms. Reaching right hand up and overhead. Nice extension through right side body. Breathe in. And our exhale, let's turn. Let's bring hands down to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Come down as you like, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause for a moment. And once again, just bring knees to the floor. If you need to rest your hands, please do so, okay? When you're ready, just return and join me here for cat and cow. We're going to inhale, lift head and heart. Then exhale, rounding spine. Inhale to look forward, arching the back, creating a little back bend right there. Exhale, round it out. Pull belly button up towards spine, chin to chest. And just flow, going through these two postures, cat pose and cow pose, creating a nice undulation through the spine, good movement and flexibility. And the pelvis is also moving, so notice that rocking sensation through the pelvis. We certainly want that. Finish the breath that you're on and take two more. Pause in a little tabletop position. Tuck toes, lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. We're going to return to standing, so breathe in, prepare to move. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet to the top of the mat. Inhale to extend your spine. Exhale, fold. There's our nice forward fold. Weights in the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come to standing, reaching high into the sky. Exhale, arms down by your side. Excellent. All righty, feel free to get a sip of water if you'd like. Some deep breaths. All right, that was a lot of work on the floor, and that was some work for the hands here. So feel free to wiggle your fingers, circle the wrists. You might even want to circle your elbows, and let's go back to circling shoulders. Let's do a little something else for the shoulders while we're in standing. I'm just going to turn sideways, and you can join me here, okay? I'm going to inhale. Let's inhale together. Reach both arms up into the sky. Exhale, bring your arms down slowly. And as you bring them down, start to bring them back behind you like this. Just reach. Feel like you're reaching or even holding on to something behind you, like that. And like I said, when you bring your arms back, it rolls the shoulders back. So stay like this. You can even put a little bend in the knees just so you don't lock out the knees. Stay like this, or if you're able, interlace your fingers. This is an option. If you can fold your fingers, just send your knuckles down towards your heels and then roll the shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together behind you. The folded fingers are just going to keep your arms and shoulders behind you. We're going to sit a little deeper into a chair-like position, keeping the spine long, especially through the neck. Feel what's happening in your upper back, but because the hands are reaching behind us and possibly folded, okay, you're going to feel the shoulders pull back and nice opening through the upper chest. A couple more breaths here. Let's go ahead and release the fingers. We're going to come up to standing, reach up into the air. Exhale, arms down by your side. And once again, shake all of that out, just like this. Good. Okay? All right, let's continue our flow. Come back to mountain pose. Steady, ready to go. Let's inhale, take the arms into the air. Exhale, let's take chair pose here. Weight shift into the heels. Bend your knees, sit back. Inhale, reach out through the arms. Exhale, dive out of your seat down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway up. Exhale, bend the knees enough, rounded spine, hands to the floor. Walk, step, or hop both feet back, plank pose. Come on down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's pause here for a moment. Let's bring the knees down to the ground. Sit back to half hero. Bring in your padding if you want to, blanket or towel, or even just folding your mat. Kneel on your pad, okay? And then from here, once you're kneeling on your pad, you're going to rise up onto your knees like this. You can keep the toes tucked under like that. Heels will be a little bit higher. We want that for this. We're going to move into a variation of camel pose, okay? This is another back bend, and I like breaking it down this way. Okay, so we're on our knees. We need to put a little effort here in the front hip flexors, upper thighs. You want to just push forward. Just when you engage the pelvis and feel like you're pushing the pelvis forward. And so you feel some energy there. We want to keep this alignment, keeping the hips directly over the knees. Now, I'm going to turn away from you so you can see what happens with my hands, okay? Now, you're going to bring your hands behind you to your low back, and there's different ways you can do this. I typically make fists, okay? And I'm placing my fist right below my belt line. And I'm going to push down and forward, down and forward. Now you can do this with fists, open palms, or even just your thumbs. I just find that the fists are just kind of stronger for this, okay? So when you're pushing down, kind of like you're pushing your pelvis or hips down and pushing forward. Okay, once you've got that feeling, here's the breath work. You're going to inhale, push down with the hands, but also feel your torso lift up, lengthening through the torso. As you exhale, push forward with the hands and start to gently lean back. The pushing forward sensation is going to keep your hips aligned over your knees. The leaning back is we're moving into the back bend, camel pose, variation. Inhale, push down, lift up. Exhale, push forward, lean back. Again, inhale, push down with the hands. Lift up through the torso, that's the lengthening. Exhale, push forward, lean back. But maybe you've come to the end of the pose. And if that's the case, stay exactly where you are. I'm going to stay like this. This is a very mild back bend, okay? I'm not leaning back too far, but I'm also well supported. I'm supporting that low back area using the fists, okay? Now this is our first version, and you can always come back to this version because we are going to be moving forward with this. Okay, let's get out of the posture by lifting up. Flatten the feet, sit back, get the hands out in front on the ground. We're going to child's pose. So take the knees wider on your mat if you want to, or on your blanket. And then sit back, hips coming back towards heels. They don't have to touch the heels, but if they can, that's fine. Just be aware of how this feels in your knees. Extend your arms out front. And just lower your way down. Your head can come all the way down to the floor or pad. I like to bring in a block right here and bring my forehead to the block. It just makes me feel like I don't have to go all the way down. And I feel well supported here. So there's some energy here. We're just going to make this an active child's pose. So I really do feel the hips reaching back towards my toes and my hands reaching forward out past the edge of the mat. So there's this extending quality. This is a great counter pose to the back bend we just did. Okay, we'll take a few more breaths and we're going to return to camel pose. We're going to be doing it again. And once we've created our breakdown of our camel back bends, we'll be putting it into a flow. 2 more breaths here in child's pose. After your second breath, just carefully and slowly make your way back up, maybe to hands and knees first. Bring the knees back in so they're directly underneath your hips. Tuck toes, sit back, half hero, and then up onto the knees, just like this. You can do that same version, we'll just call this version A, okay, that same modified back bend, camel pose. Push down as you inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, push forward, lean back on the exhale. Here's another version, okay? Alrighty, I'm going to sit back a little bit here, take hands and grab hold of the heels, or really just touching the heels. You'll probably just end up touching them with your fingertips, okay? Now when I inhale, I'm just lifting up, sending the pelvis forward. That's my inhale, getting my hips to be over knees. That's the inhale. Then exhale, just leaning back. Inhale, I want to feel like my heart is lifting up towards the ceiling. Exhale, sending pelvis forward to maintain that alignment. So this is our second version of camel. There's certainly more you can do. You can flatten the feet. That just brings the heels farther away from the hands. Okay, if you can get into a deeper back bend, feel free. If this is a strain on the neck by looking up, then tip your chin down. Okay, it doesn't change the back bend, but it may take the strain out of the neck. 1 more breath in and out. If you're touching the heels, sit back towards the heels. Let's go back to child's pose for our counter position. Hands out front. Take the knees wide. Sit back. Lengthen. Make it active. Reach. After this, after a few breaths, oh, this feels good. We'll go through a flow. We're going to add 1 more back bend. We already did the setup for it, but we need to do the actual back bend, okay? 3 more breaths. Take your time. Really feel this nice extension through the spine, especially if you did a pretty deep or significant back bend in camel. You're going to rise back up to hands and knees. Move your padding. Return to downward facing dog. Let's flow. We're going to add another back bend here. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist open. Rotate a little bit more towards the right side of the room. Your right foot will step over yourself. So you can stay like this or literally step over yourself, land on that right foot. You'll spin around. You'll end up being in wild thing. Okay, it's basically a twisted back bend. One hand on the floor, one hand in the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, flip it back over, right hand down, right leg up into the air, straight line. Right foot to the top of the mat, join me here. Left heel turns to the floor behind you. Put some weight and pressure in that back foot. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Right away, side angle, reach out, rotate the arms. Right hand down, left hand up and overhead, reach, nice extension. There it is, breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor, step back, plank pose, come down, chaturanga dandasana. Back bend here, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, same thing other side. Now when we flip over, that's an option. You do not have to do that if you don't want to. Inhale, lift left leg. Bend and twist. Open it up, stay here, or step all the way over into wild thing. I like to get my feet flat on the ground so I have a good stable foundation to lift myself up, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling, guided by this left hand. Let's breathe in. Exhale, flip it back over, left hand down, left leg up into the air, straighten that leg. And then left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Plant that right heel. Rise up, inhale. Exhale, open it, warrior two. Side angle pose, reach out. Rotate the arms, reach high and low. Follow the right hand overhead, get that side body stretch. Breathe in right here. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Come on down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, once again, you're going to bring your knees to the ground. I'm just going to adjust my mat. Bring padding underneath the knees if you'd like. We're going to do that variation of side plank. We're going to add on to it. Okay, same thing. You're going to tap your right foot. Swing it out to the right side for a kickstand. Lean to the right so you can extend the left leg back behind you. Open it up. Right hand reaching into the air so you're sideways. Flexing the left foot. That will energize the leg. Lifting the foot, lifting the leg right here. As the left arm extends overhead, reach in these opposite directions. Through the left hand and through the left foot in these opposite directions. We're creating length so we can create a back bend. You're going to bend the left knee, bring the heel back towards backside. Bring this left hand back and behind you. That's why we want to open up the shoulders. Maybe just touch the heel if you can reach it. Maybe you can grab hold of the foot itself. And there's your back bend. If you want it a little deeper, send this foot to the wall behind you, okay? Towards the right side of the room, basically. And send the belly and chest forward. That will create the back bend. Let's release the leg. Reaching overhead, so straighten that line again. Turn, let's bring hand and knee back down to the floor. Bring your kickstand back in. 2 breaths, cat and cow. Get that nice undulation through the spine. It's a nice relief after doing that back bend. If you need to rest the hands, sit back into hero or half hero. When you're ready, just join me here. Let's do the other side. Tap the left foot, swing the left foot off to the left side for your kickstand. Lean to the left, extend your right leg back. Keep toes on the ground for stabilization. Open up to the right side of the room. Right hand into the air. There we are. Flex the right foot, lift it off the ground. Extend right hand overhead. Reach through the fingertips, through the foot. Lengthening, feel the side body stretch. Create your back bend now. Bend the right knee, bring it to back side. Bring the right hand behind you. Just touch the heel if you can. If not, just touch the air. That's all. Just bring the arm behind you. That's all. If you're able, grab hold of the foot. Send the foot over to the left side of the room, basically, while you send your belly and chest towards the right side of the room. And that will create your back bend. Let's release, re-extend the leg and arm. Get that re-extension through the spine. And return to the earth. Hand and knee. Kickstand back in. 2 breaths, cat and cow. Undulate through spine. We'll take a quick child's pose to elongate through spine. It elongates it and creates a bit of a rounding sensation in the back, and that's perfect for this, okay? But a nice breather. And then we'll go and put our sequence together. Take your time and maybe take 3 more deep breaths. And when you're complete, you can slowly make your way back up to hands and knees, moving your props out of the way. You'll return to downward facing dog. Let's take a nice breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale to extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Let's hold this fold for a moment. Nice release. Okay, we've already done a bunch of back bends, so let's just get that nice rounded, natural feeling here. All right, shifting weight into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Draw the straight line. We're reaching up into the air. Even hold this for a few more seconds. Reach up, exhale, arms down by your side. All righty, feel free to get a sip of water. Shake out the hands, elbows, and shoulders, getting all loosened up, warmed up, ready for our sequence, okay? And once again, I'm just going to adjust my mat, and then we'll get ready to go. There we are. Okay, mountain pose whenever you're ready. Deep breaths. Let's move. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up into the air. Exhale, take chair pose, sitting back into the seat. Inhale, reach out through the arms. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway or fully extended spine. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the mat. Walk, step, or hop, both feet back, plank pose. Come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Get a nice extension of spine. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Bend and twist. Stay like this or flip the dog into wild thing if you want. Here it is. Here's that twisted back bend, reaching up into the air. Breathe in. Exhale, flip it back over. Right hand down, right leg up into the air. Join me here. Right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel plants into the floor behind you. Rise, warrior 1. Exhale, open, warrior 2. Side angle, reach out. Angled body, right hand down, left hand up and overhead. Reach and stretch, inhale. Listen carefully. We're going to exhale, turn, bring the hands to the floor. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. You're going to be in this runner's lunge. Stay here. You're going to bring the left knee to the ground. See that? Bring left knee to the ground. Kind of lean over to the, make a kickstand with that left foot. As you lean a bit to the left side, you'll slide this right foot back, all the way back, straight line behind you. Flex the foot, lifting the leg, and then opening up sideways. See how we did that? And then take right arm overhead. Reach and extend, straight line. Back bend, bend the knee, reach back, see if you can touch the heel or grab the foot. Create the back bend as you like. Maybe 3 deep breaths. When you're done, let's release it, re-extend the body, long leg, long arm. Turn, bring hand and knee back down to the floor, kickstand comes back in. Tuck toes, sit back, half hero. Rise up onto the knees. We're going to our camel pose. I'm going to use the version A. Hands to hips. Push pelvis down. Inhale, lift torso up. Exhale, push pelvis forward, lean back. Maybe one more time. Choosing the camel pose that suits you at this moment. Okay, right here. You're going to rise back up. Okay, flatten the feet. Kind of sit back. So you can just bring hands to the floor in front, just a tabletop cat-cow. 2 breaths. Inhale, look up, arch back. Exhale, round it out, which should feel really good. 1 more. Rounded spine. Come back to a flat back tabletop. Step hands forward, tuck toes, lift knees, extending body. Come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Are you noticing some more flexibility in the back? Inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist, stay here, or flip the dog into wild thing. Plant the feet, lift hips up, reach up. Inhale. Exhale, flip it back over, left hand down, left leg up into the air, straighten that leg, join me. Left foot to the top of the mat, warrior 1. When you're ready, inhale, rise up, reaching into the sky. Exhale, opening, warrior 2. Side angle pose, reach out. Rotate the arms, left hand down, right hand up and overhead. Feel that nice extension through right side body. Breathe in. Exhale, turn, bring hands to the floor, stay here. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you, runner's lunge. Set the right knee down. Should be a nice right angle there. Swing that right foot off to the right side. As you lean to the right, you can slide this left leg back, lift it into the air, straight line, open up sideways. Nice transition. Take left hand overhead, right there. We'll create our back bend. Bend the knee. Reach back, catch the air, touch the heel, grab the foot, either one. Those options are open to you. There we are. Okay, let's release, re-extend. Want to extend after those back bends. Turn, bring the left hand to the floor, left knee to the floor. Kickstand comes back in. Tuck toes, half hero. Rise up. Camel. Same thing, I'm going to do version A again. Push pelvis down, get long in the torso, inhale. Exhale, push pelvis forward, lean back. Remember, you can flatten the feet. Okay, maybe sit back, grab heels. Inhale, pushing pelvis up and forward so your hips are over the knees, heart lifting. Okay, now my feet are flat. I'm in the second version right now of our camel pose. To get out of the posture, sit back. Hands out front, tabletop, cat-cow. Inhale, lift head and heart. Exhale, round it out. Maybe 2 more. That makes it 3. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Come back to neutral. Child's pose. Take knees wide. Sit back. Child's pose. Rest. Get that re-extension through the spine here. Really reach through the hands. Sit back with the hips. Deep breaths. Very nicely done. So that was our sequence. It was relatively short, but there's some good flowing back bends through all of that. 3 more breaths. And then you can slowly return to hands and knees. Sit back into hero, even half hero. We're going back down to the ground, so just sit off to the side. Swing the legs around to the front. Sit in the center of your mat. And once again, just roll down onto your back. If you like, you can have your blocks nearby or any other padding or support that you may need as we start to come to the close of our practice together. Let's start by hugging knees into chest right here, and you can stay flat on the ground with the upper body or even lift head and chest up towards the knees, kind of creating this, like you're rounding the spine and curling yourself up into a little ball if you want. I like to do this a little bit and create some circles here. I'm going to lay my head back down and continue my circling of the legs here, which very gently massages the low back. I'll make figure 8s. Rock side to side. So any movement that might feel good here, okay? So we're in our restorative portion of our practice. Resting, letting our breath come back to baseline so they're slow and deep, and just some light stretching. Let's go to happy baby pose where you're taking the legs and knees out wide. You can stay just like this, never needing to lift the feet into the air like this. Nice stretching for the inner legs. Or go ahead and take the feet up into the air, holding on to the bottoms of the feet like this. And if you're doing this, you might press downward gently, sending the knees down towards the floor. Of course, they don't touch the floor, but just down towards the floor, just to feel that stretch in the hips. I'd like to add a little rocking feeling here too. So we'll choose this pose. Breathing, check in with breath. And then reclining cobbler's pose, or reclining bound angle pose, another hip opener. So just press the soles of your feet together, set the feet down onto the ground, let the knees just kind of open up naturally. Now if you feel like that's an overstretch for the inner thighs, you may want to use your blocks for this, or pillows or books, whatever you have here, and just tuck them underneath the knees, the legs here, so they actually rest on the blocks rather than feeling pulled down to the ground. And you might feel a bit more relaxed here. So we'll hold this for a few moments. And again, just returning to your deep breathing. Just going to add a few more things here. Let's take 3 more breaths. After your 3rd breath, just lift your knees, bring them together so you can plant the feet into the floor. So just knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Okay, grab your blocks if you don't have them already, okay? We're going to go back to our supported bridge for a moment. So you're going to inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale, engage belly, lift hips, slide blocks underneath you. Sit. Okay, so this is where we started with our supported bridge pose, but we're going to do a leg extension here, okay? So from here, take one leg, then the second leg, up into the air like this. I just think that the elevation here just helps to support the body. If that feels different for you, you can choose the elevation. Either remove one of the blocks, or use something softer like a pillow, okay? Or use nothing at all. You can just lie flat and extend the legs. Initially, the legs will be energized, and that's great, but then you can kind of loosen things up. I like to do a little bicycle pedaling here. Just kind of loosen up in the joints. And since the feet are free, some more movement through the feet. So circling the ankles here. I like to flex, then point, more circles. Just really keeping the feet, mobile, really. And if you can wiggle your toes, wiggle your toes. And whenever you feel complete, because you don't have to stay upside down like this, you can always bring your feet back down to the floor. But if they happen to be still up in the air, bend the knees and just bring them in just towards body a little bit. Even though you're elevated, they won't come all the way down towards your body, perhaps, but here is fine. Okay? And then set feet down onto the floor. It's really a forward fold sensation, returning to a back bend feeling, but supported all the way. Hold here. Okay, then press feet into the ground so you can lift your hips, move the blocks out from underneath you, and come back down to the ground. Soft landing, pause. And once again, hug knees towards chest, and we'll take a twist. We'll start by taking both knees over to the left side, extend right arm off to the right side. We'll hold here for several breaths. Even though you're in a twist like this, you want to feel like there's a straight line. If you had to draw a straight line from the very top of your head down to your tailbone, okay?
So it's just a straight line, but even though there is a rotation happening in the spine. Three more breaths. Longer if you want to stay a little bit longer on this side. When you're ready, just bring the knees back up to center. Pause here in center. And then when you're ready, take knees over to the right side and extend your left arm to the left side of the room. This may be, hopefully, some nice relief in the low back area and hips, especially after your back bend practice. Camels and bridges. Three more breaths. And then come back up to center. Maybe one more hug. And then extend the legs straight out in front of you. Extend your arms back behind you. So one last stretch. Reach, extend, inhale. And exhale, you can bring your arms down by your side, allowing the entire body to completely relax and melt into the ground. Settle in. Now bring in any props that you might need to help support your body. Maybe something to prop up your head if you need something soft underneath you. You can even elevate your legs, bend your knees, whatever feels good. And you might even close your eyes and move inward, returning to your personal intention. In our heart opening practice, maybe you opened your heart to receive what you need today. Maybe you're feeling like you want to give something today. Stay here as long as you need. Certainly no rush to come out of this pose. Even as I end our practice, you can stay right here. And when you are ready to move, first take 5 slow, deep breaths. As you're breathing, feel movement return to your body. Take your time. And then sometime after your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, roll onto either side of your body, coming to a nurturing pose. And then still moving slowly, guide your way up to seated. Take your time. Come to a comfortable seat with a nicely extended spine.
Relax shoulders, arms down by your side. Take a breath. Then go ahead and bring hands to heart center. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.